Okay, there's three of us. I'm gonna go ahead and plug us in. We just got like a minute.
Okay, now, Mike,
Yeah.
all I'm hearing is an oboe playing over the air.
A what?
An oboe. It's an instrumental over the air, I think.
All
Oh,
right.
there's Eric's voice now. The
Okay.
technical difficulty thing.
Oh, really? All right. I'll text him.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Right here, KHOI, Story City Games, right here bringing the noise. Look out.
Lost Alberto again. Hi, Steph.
Hey, hey, people, hey. I should turn my phone.
Yeah, we lost Alberto, and there's some technical
HOI
difficulty.
Story City Ames
What's going on?
missed our intro music there, but we are on the air. I'm Mike Murphy, and I feel like the romper room lady. I see Mike, I see Stephanie, I see Sam, and Alberta was in and out. But
Sam, I see Sam.
I see.
folks, we are on the air,
I see stuff.
and we are also streaming on KHOI's YouTube page. And so, thanks for joining us this afternoon. And Mike, I'll turn it over to you. Oh, there goes the
Okay.
music.
Yeah, have we got some?
Well, the music finally kicked in, but we're okay now. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Thanks, Mike. I'm Mike Metz, one of the producers and co-hosts of Science Bites, Tuesday afternoons, 4:30 to 5, where we like to share our enthusiasm and interest in science for everybody. We want folks to enjoy science and not make it feel like it's something that we need to be afraid of. And I'm going to pass it to Steph.
Hey, guys. What's up? It's Monday. We made it another day. COVID. I'm so glad when all this stuff ends. Oh my god. And we're gonna get like stormed on crazily, apparently. Are we supposed to how much are we gonna get, Mike? How much snow are we gonna get?
We're going to get whatever they say they measured.
14 inches. Now it's 12 inches. Um, it's gonna be a good amount. But I have a show on Thursday night. Wait, go ahead. I'm sorry, can't hear you.
Go ahead.
No, you
Continue.
go. I can hear you now.
Okay, you continue about your show, Steph.
Oh, so my show Love of Music is Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Love of Music is about songs we love, why we love them, and all the musicians around the country that I think that have a lot of importance and just playing the music. So mine's about like kind of getting away and playing the music, even if there's snow. Sam.
Thank you, Stephanie. I have a question for you. Thursday night is New Year's Eve. Are you going to wait a week and be part of the New Year's Eve festivities, or how will that work out, Stephanie?
So this Thursday is New Year's Eve. So we have two bands that'll be in my slot. It'll be the band Alleygrass. They've been on the show before. Well, yeah, they have been on the show before, and we had them maybe on a Pantorium sessions before. But then we're gonna have Haley Bates performing. So I'll have one band and then another performer for my half hour.
Very good.
Yeah. What are you
I'll
guys
fin-
doing for yours?
I'll finish checking in and pass it on.
Okay.
I'm Sam Wormley. I'm one of the co-hosts of Science Bites, our radio program, which shares our excitement about science with our KHOI listeners. We typically, our program is 1/2 hour on Tuesday afternoons at 4:30. And if some of you will remember that during our fundraising month, we actually expanded to 4 live programs of 1 hour each. And that was fun. And sharing science is fun. Anyway, I'm going to pass it on to Angel and introduce yourself, Angel.
And Alberto's here. And Bob.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Hey
I'm
guys.
sorry, I'm late today. I went to pick up my turkey for New Year, so I'm gonna see some of my turkey. How are you guys? I'm Angel from New York, from the Bronx, New York, and I'm so happy to be back with you guys.
And Angel, pass it on to
I'm gonna pass it
whomever.
on to. Oh, since I got late, I don't know who's left. Albert?
Pass it on to
Alberto?
Alberto.
Hey, it's Alberto from New York. Just bringing you that New York vibe.
Chi-Chi. Where's Chi-Chi?
Chichi's. I could go get Chichi. In the meantime, Bob, have you gotten on yet?
I just arrived. I'll introduce myself while you step away. My name's Bob, and I live in Ames, Iowa, which is the hometown of KHOI Community Radio. I've been a producer for 6 years, and my show is Bob's 8-Track Garage Sale. It's the only live 8-track radio show on earth, and KHOI has the distinction of having an 8-track player in our control room that's actually plugged into our system. Think of that.
I don't mean to like put down anyone else's shows, but Bob, yours is my favorite show.
I know. Every time I see his post, I'm like Bob and his 8 tracks. There's Chi-Chi, the pain in the
Chi-Chi.
butt.
You can't see Chi-Chi on the radio, but Chi-Chi is cute. So, hey guys, real quick, if I could, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to introduce Haley. She's going to be on our New Year's Eve show performing a song, and she's right here. And she's also engineered at KHOI several times, and she has DJ'd. So this is Haley, and so you're going to hear her on New Year's Eve right here.
Hi, my name's Haley. I'm 19 years old, and I'm a college student and Stephanie's stepdaughter. And I'll be singing a song that I'm not sure yet on New Year, so that'll be fun.
She's trying to decide what she's going to sing right now, so we haven't made a decision yet. But she's
It'll be fun though. I'm excited.
yeah, she's a wonderful performer. You guys are gonna love her, and she's sweet as can be. So
Mhm.
just
Cool.
wanted to like introduce you.
Boy,
Very good.
If we need a theme for today, it should be our optimism for the coming year.
Yeah.
That's a great theme.
Mike, what are you optimistic about in 2021?
Me?
Haley,
I think it'll be a good year because this 2020 has been super hard, and I feel like it's made us a lot closer, and I think it'll make us appreciate 2021 much more. And so that's what I'm excited about, that everyone will have, I feel like their spirits will be higher once all this is over, hopefully. So that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah, well said. I mean, listen, if it's gonna be worse than 2020, then don't bring on 2021.
Yeah. That is the
So
cutest little squirrel I've ever seen. On my campus, we have squirrels everywhere, and you can just like walk right up to them. It's so cool.
maybe we could get a Chi-Chi from UNI, from University of Northern Iowa.
sure, if you want this pain in the butt.
I wanted it.
We just got a fish, so
Yeah, we got a fish and we named it Jimin.
it's a cute fish.
It's a
A
cute
beta
fish.
fish.
Beta.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
But Chichi's not easy at all.
But no, you always say that, but I want Chi Chi.
She's adorable in a way, but she can be a little monster too.
Well, if you guys get tired of, if anyone gets tired of Chi Chi, I will take Chi Chi.
You can have Ash the Chihuahua.
It's just
Oh
so cute.
my gosh.
I wish people could
How
see on the
cute.
radio how cute this dog is, Ash.
I don't think that you guys are gonna stay with Shishi for too long. You're gonna send it back to sender.
Like, it's like Ash, though.
Yep. But not before it gets to the mailman's fingers first.
So hey, I guess I'm gonna ask Bob like what he's thankful for. Are we talking about stuff we're thankful for? Bob, for the new
Okay.
year, for everything.
I would say I have many things to be thankful for. I do have some underlying health conditions, but everything seems to be going well for me at this time. So I'm grateful for that. I have one son who is living in the Minneapolis area with his wife and 2.5-year-old daughter, who is our sole grandchild, and they are thriving there, and they're expecting another baby in March, and I have that to be thankful for. I think more than anything, without getting too political, I'm looking forward to a vast change in the way that I can relate to our government, because I've had a very difficult time identifying with as a citizen of the current government. And I'm looking forward to that change, and powered by the voters, there's going to be a change, and I think it'll be a vast change. So I'm very much looking forward to that. It's not going to be without difficulties, but I do think it's going to be for the better. I like winter, and so I'm grateful. I'm looking forward to the blizzard tomorrow. So I'll pass.
Too, I'm excited.
Hey, look at this. You can see it. It's in Haley's room. Look behind you. People on the radio can't see it.
Yeah, I have that
It's right
album.
behind you, but you
It's
have the
a-
picture right behind you.
It's a poster hanging on my wall in my bedroom.
She has the same one.
It's Abbey Road, and it
Yes.
shows the Beatles walking across the street in the iconic intersection of Abbey Road.
Yes. I always wonder what the significance of the Volkswagen Beetle is. Whose it was, what ended up happening to it.
My understanding is that that photo was totally random. I don't think it was thought out or planned, or there's any ulterior motive. We were pretty excited about it because at the time, my wife was driving a Beetle and in Los Angeles, of all places. Can you imagine competing on the freeways of LA with a Beetle? She
I
did
did
it.
do that. I did do that. When I lived in the West Coast, I did do that
Mhm.
in 1969. So what colors was your wife's Beetle?
It was a white. It was a white Beetle. It was an older one. I don't know the year. It was a 6-volt, which means it was pre 73 or something like that. It's a 6-volt electrical system. It was converted to 12-volt, which was done by changing all the bulbs and maybe the generator, I don't know. And it was stolen once, and the seats were removed. And when Debbie got it back, the insurance company put new seats in it for her. And when she came to Iowa, she drove it cross country, which was quite a challenge.
That's a trek for a little tiny car.
Pretty good in the snow, mine is.
She has a Volkswagen and she has a Beetle. It's a newer version, but she said it's great in the snow here in
I
Iowa.
think it's because it's so light, it just glides right over it. I remember one day after school, I was going, there's, the bridge on like, what street is that?
Ontario.
Ontario. and all these cars were having such a hard time getting up the hill because they're like SUVs, they're so heavy. They were digging in the snow, but I was scared. You were waiting for me on the other side of the landing because I was scared I wasn't gonna get over it. But my car just went woo, and it just went right over it because it's so light.
So Volkswagen, new Volkswagens, definitely get one.
I grew up in a culture where we did a lot of mechanic work on our own, and I got to the point where along with a couple other friends and a 24 pack of old Milwaukee, we could pull the engine out of a Volkswagen Beetle, put new sleeves in the cylinders, and replace it over the course of a weekend. And you jack it up, you put a tire off the rim under the backside, you pull it off the spline, and the engine drops on the rubber tire, and you lift it. You get a bunch of guys, you lift up the car, you pull the engine out. And so we had a lot of fun with those cars. I think Debbie and I had 2 or 3 of the actual Beetles.
See, this stuff's fun.
I'll pass to Angel. Angel, do you have a car in the city?
No, I don't. I used to, but it's so complicated here. First, I live in an apartment building, and to find a parking around here is horrible. It's horrible. The insurance is so expensive. So we just use the public transportation, which is easy because I had the bus that passed right in front of my building. I just got to cross the street, and I got the bus right there.
Yeah, it's
Terrific.
New York. New York, you got transportation everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, right to the front of your building. You save a lot of money in insurance.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, if you got a big family, it's understandable. But if you're like one, a person.
I mean, if you have a house, it's better because you got the parking to place the car. But if you live in an apartment building, is complicated.
Especially in the winter.
Alberto, what is the monthly cost of a parking spot off street?
I can tell you.
Indoors or outdoors?
The indoor can go up to $200 a month. And if it is outdoor, when it's snow, you gotta clean up the snow and everything. It could be like 125 to 150.
Expensive. Insurance can easily be up to $400 a month.
Hey,
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yep. There you go. Hey. Yeah. No.
so
Well,
Mike,
my
you're in
sister-
the country. How is living in the country with this blizzard coming?
Well, actually, both Mikes are living in the country currently, and I'm ready for it more or less. And if I would have to get out, I can at least get a lane out with the tractor because I've got a bucket on it. And normally things are pretty good. If I have a power out, I finally got my standby generator fixed, which runs off of the old propane. So I can still keep the house warm and the appliances going, so I don't worry about that. I like living in the country. It's fun to watch the snow, enjoy the snow. I'm originally from northern Wisconsin, so winter is good for me. I do miss sunshine though sometimes. It's probably the roughest part. If you go too long a period without sun, I start to get a little grumpy.
Did you ever go to one of those football games of the Green Bay Packers where it was 20 below zero and it was an outdoor stadium and people were just loving it?
Yes, I've been to a few of those. My family had season tickets, and my mom and dad actually went to what's called the Ice Bowl when they played the Dallas Cowboys back in 1967. And it was back when they had real grass and they had mud all over in the snow. And unfortunately, those poor folks from Dallas, a lot of them did not dress properly. And,
That's that's terrible. And I don't know if you guys heard about what they do here in New York. I think it's Coney Island or Long Island Beach, that the polar bears.
Oh,
They
sure.
go like
Yes.
in bathing suit and jump in the water. Oh, I don't see
Oh,
myself doing.
oh,
Yeah,
sounds
they
like
cut
fun.
holes in the ice to do that.
It sounds like fun. That's a fun. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I am from Puerto Rico, so the water over there is nice and warm. I don't see myself jumping in New York water at this time of the year.
Look, for New York, it's about like what 40 degrees outside right now. For New York, that is pretty, pretty hot. So even at this temperature, I will go outside. You will see me coming outside worse than a West Eskimo with like full clothes everywhere. I can't even bend my arms. Imagine me with a bathing suit in the middle of Coney Island in the middle of winter.
You'd be like the guy from the kid from Christmas Story.
I come
Can't
up
put
looking like a
my arms
popsicle
down.
floating in the water like this, bobbing.
That is not going to happen with me.
you were mentioning cutting the hole in the ice and jumping in. That's the Polar Bear Club.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
The
a polar
polar
bear,
bear.
yeah.
They do it every year.
In Coney Island.
I don't want to do that.
There are
I think they do it because it's like a charity thing.
Yeah.
But they do it, and I also heard that some people die doing that.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
If we could get Mike Murphy to share his, to let me share my screen, I have a joke that my father told about hunting for bear in the wintertime.
no.
Yeah, it's a great story.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mike.
You're doing it?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I just got to find it here. Whoops.
Oh, we're playing with Mac.
And just a little patience here, and I'll.
Oh,
have
sure. This is about hunting?
Well, we
It's
have
about-
a little bit of space for a friendly philosopher from north of town, the doctor of agronomy. He'd like to tell you an educational joke this evening. Mr. Worth. Thank you, White. These fellows always like to tell jokes and have fun. I'm a little more serious-minded type. And tonight I'd like to speak with you for a little while about hunting. Specifically, hunting bear in the North Woods in the wintertime. Now, probably many of you don't hunt too much, but nevertheless, I'm sure there's some information here that you'll probably like. The ideal spot is to pick a small frozen lake surrounded by bushes and trees. About 8 feet from shore, take a pick a hole in the ice. Then take a saw and enlarge that hole to 1.5 feet, about like this. Now, a word of caution at this point. Gene tried this last winter. He wasn't thinking. Here he was standing right in the middle and he sawed the hole. Right down the lake he went, see? So be sure and stand on the outside of the hole. All right, now, we have the hole. It's all ready, but we have the ice in the hole yet. Well, now, you can't get a hold of it anyway, but here's where you use the old head, see? You put your hand on the ice, shove it right down in the water and slide it over under the other ice. Hole's wide open. Now, the next important step, take a can of common peas, shake very gently around the edge of the hole, right around the outside. Be careful not to lose too many. Now, your trap is about set. So, you step back behind the bush and wait. When the bear comes out to take the pee, you kick him in the ice hole.
No ice hole.
So Sam, that was fairly
He doesn't want to
pathetic.
be in the ice bowl.
So was that your father who read that?
Yes, that was my father, and he was on stage with his quartet doing a performance, and they added this joke, and it was his 102nd birthday today. He died 20 years ago, but he would have been 102 today, and so our family shared that joke with each other of him telling bear in the wintertime.
Sam, that was wonderful. That was wonderful. I wish I'd have been there to hear it.
Yeah, I think it was funny.
Yeah, that audience laughed a long time.
They did.
So our Mike, who is in the studio, what can you tell us about your? Do you have something you're grateful for, looking forward to, perplexed about, anxious maybe?
What about all of the above? Yeah, well, I'm grateful for you folks. This is a wonderful community here in Central Iowa, and I'm very grateful that we have this community radio station. Grateful to all the people who have worked so hard to make sure that this place exists, and all the people that work so hard to keep it going. And so that's what mostly what I'm grateful for. It's a wonderful thing, community radio.
I know that, Mike, we are so grateful for you, and sometimes we don't say it. And sometimes I think we need to say it more to you for how much you do for the station and to keep us on the airwaves.
Oh, well, aren't you nice?
Thank you.
Yeah, for
So-
hosting, and for our times hosting the water cooler.
Yeah.
So Alberto and Angel, do you have community radio stations in your neighborhood that you listen to?
Yes, I do. It's a Spanish one, and I do listen to them sometimes, not every day. But they're not. I think that you guys are doing an excellent job, so I'd rather listen to you, even though it's not in New York.
Yeah, I could say the same thing. I don't really do too much radio or TV, for that. I spend a lot of time just kind of like doing the YouTube and just learning things, because right now YouTube is the ultimate encyclopedia, do it yourself kind of deal. Whenever you need to find out how to do something, you can always go to YouTube. I mean, lots of times people would need to go to college for like long time, and even courses long time. Now all you have to do is go on YouTube, and you can learn it within a couple of weeks, depending on how much time you devote to what it is that you're trying to learn.
I just learned about dreams. I was gonna ask our Science Bites guys.
Lucid dreaming, huh?
No, well, you're talking about how you can go online and learn. And I looked up why do we dream? And then I thought of our Science Bites folks. But like it tells you all these things, right? So I could do I need to go to school for this? I could learn it, right? Probably in like a week.
Oof, please. Oh, lucid dream. There's so much on dreaming on YouTube. So much on dreaming. So many different theories, and all applicable. You know what I mean?
Well,
And-
Mike, we ought to do a program on dreaming, bring our listeners up to date. It's not a 1 minute answer, not a 5 minute answer, but it's a whole radio program.
Yes,
It's its own
And-
program.
I agree.
Actually-
I agree.
But I think we should have our
Actually,
own
the-
program on it sometime. Don't you, Mike? Don't you, Sam?
Mike?
And I was going to say, why do we need sleep? I mean, it's very important, and we could cover that as part of that program.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's already going to be 2 programs, I can tell.
I think it will, but I don't know anything about it. So you guys will be running the program, but yeah. So I'm making a note of that. Sleep.
By the way, I like your hat.
Thank you. Isn't this a sweet hat? I'll
It
send
is
it to you,
cool.
Angel. If
And
you want it,
that's
you can
my
have it.
favorite. That's my favorite color, red and black.
I'll send you this, and Alberto sends me Chi-Chi.
Oh.
Yeah, by the time you get the hat, you should be done with it.
I would like to follow up on what Alberto said about being able to. He was talking about community radio. In fact, we're all talking about community radio, and community radio, by its very nature, has a restriction on how far you can transmit the signal. But we are able to stream, and anybody in the world can listen to the programs live, or even go to the KHOI archive and be able to get programs in the past. And I think that's just a wonderful service to a much broader community than just Central Iowa.
Yeah, actually,
I agree with you. I think like my friend Karan is listening to us right now from India, and he's live streaming it, and we're very fortunate to have that ability to do that.
actually, the frequency is not limited. It's also can be accessed online. So if you need to find a radio frequency, there's definitely a way to hear us, the frequency live. So it's not limited to the area of the antenna or the tower. So that's a good thing too. I mean, no longer frequencies are limited to and confined to the areas of what it's allowed to, or how strong it is, or how that works.
And since Bob's 8-track tape program is the only one in the world, it's good that people all over the world can hear it.
I know Bob and his 8 tracks every time.
I always brag about his 8-track show, and I know it's annoying, but it's awesome.
I refer to my listeners as streamers, and I have people from East to West Coast, their family members, some of my high school class of 1964 still listen to me streaming. And one of my Army buddies who lives in Missouri is one of my huge fans, my son in Minneapolis. I have nephews in California and other places, now Chicago. And so people really take advantage of the web, of KHOI's presence on the interwebs. And speaking of that, with you in a moment, Mike, I want to tell our listeners, this is KHOI Community Radio, and we are a group of producers that are putting together a little conversation that you're listening to right now. I do think it's important that we tell our listeners from time to time who we are and what we're doing, because if somebody just randomly tunes in and hears a bunch of goofballs yakking, they have no idea what's going on. Mike.
I wanted to say that I actually listened to Bob's 8-track program. It was a repeat on Saturday night. I was sitting in my tractor seat and I was doing a little workout in the back on my prairie. So how many people can say they listen to their 8-track on their tractor?
Not on a tractor.
To add to what Bob had to say about producers here at KHOI, I also want to remind our listeners that we are still short our goal for supporting our radio station here. And please go to the donate button on khoi.org, spread the word, become a member, support this community radio station.
Actually, Mike, it's khoifm.org. Important to get that website. Also, while folks are there, I'd like to mention, on New Year's Eve, among a lot of other festivities, we're having a masquerade where it's a mask fashion show. And if you would like to participate in that, this will be via Zoom, which we will be streaming live. You can register at khoifm.org, and there's a light blue button on the left-hand side, and you can, right after you finish making that donation, you can click on that and get set up. And The only thing left after that is to bring your A mask.
Or masks, right? Because it doesn't have to be one, right?
Yeah,
No.
good point.
It's a fashion show. Hey, listen, Angel is coming to the show. Angel is yes, he is. And
Angel, you're coming?
I am working on my mask right now.
It better be good. It better be good.
not one.
As a matter of fact, I don't have only one mask. I have a few masks.
Ooh.
He's gonna
fancy
give you a
pants.
show.
So you
We don't want you, Angel. We don't want you intimidating anyone who might be considering participating. We don't want you scaring away anyone. So again, khoifm.org. That's New Year's Eve. That's at 8:00. We've got festivities starting with the children's choir at 5. The live stream of the event, it will be at 8:00, and that will be the mask
Let
fashion
me ask
show.
you something. Is that gonna be 8:00? How about the time in New York? Because I know you have a different time.
That would be 9:00 New York time. Yeah.
New York. Okay, good. All right. I already did my registration.
All right, cool. Was it easy to do?
It was easy. All you
Yeah.
have to put is your email address, and it's easy.
Yeah, because they gotta know where to send the Zoom link so that you
Yeah.
can log in.
They gotta
That's
submit
right.
it.
Yeah.
Well, and then we have the mask. We have the mask thing's going to be amazing. And then afterwards at 8:30, I get to have Alley Grass, the local band Alley Grass on, and Haley Bates perform. So we get two, a band and then a performer. And then we've got a bunch of other stuff that's amazing for the next like 5 hours. Sam's got his hand up.
You'll probably think I'm crazy, but for $100 a month, you could become a sustaining member for $100 a month, and it would feel so good. And you could become a sustaining member for any amount per month, something that you can afford and feel good about supporting the station. And I sure hope most people consider becoming sustaining members of this community radio station, khoifm.org. You can go to that address and donate. Thank you.
Yeah, and the beauty of it too is even if you're not a sustaining member, you can become an individual donor at $60 per year. That is only $5 a month. And so we always talk about it and joke. If you went to Starbucks, you would spend $5 for a latte. And that's one drink that essentially keeps us on the airwaves. And to me, it's makes sense. And that is why a lot of my friends and my family and the people that I love, they donate because they're like, we can give up that one drink a month. And because we love the show or the station or your show, Sam, or Mike's, all of our stuff here, all of us. And I appreciate everything that everyone does. But I think that $60 a year is very minimal. I think. Yeah. Don't you? I mean, I don't think it's very much to keep us on the air.
No, not at all. I think
it's $5 a month.
Yeah, $5 a month. Yeah. And you don't have to pay it all at once, I think, right?
No, and
That's
you
right.
know that I bought chapstick last night. It was $5.
All right,
Wow.
that sounds good.
So you can have my $5 chapstick, and you know what I mean? So it's very minimal.
Yeah, I've heard of lipstick costing way more than $25. So.
Oh, it is. But this chapstick is a fancy chapstick, and it was more than $5. So you could become a member, and you can have my chapstick. I will mail it to you.
That's a good one.
I will mail my chapstick to whoever becomes a member today.
Oh my God, I would love to have a $5 chapstick.
Well, Angel, then maybe you should have it. Are you a member?
It'll come with the hat, right?
Yeah, that. But I get Chi-Chi in return.
I tell you, you put Chi-Chi and the hat in the same box, you ain't getting that hat. Not before you get Chi-Chi.
Alberto is on the radio right now, and he has a squirrel that I've been trying to have him mail to me from New York for months, and he has not done it.
Yeah, she's eating an onion ring right now.
My dear, I'm sure you're gonna send it back to sender the same day.
Cool.
Chi-Chi.
what else do we all have to want to be grateful for? Mike in the studio, you got anything else you want to talk about? You're in there doing all the work.
Well, we can go over the rundown of the New Year's Eve festivities. Again, we're starting at 5 p.m. with the children's choir, and then it's the Kaiser Trio after that. I know Cynthia's got some novelty music planned for the early part of the evening, as well as Tom and Doug. And then at 8 o'clock is when the masquerade takes place. So we'll be airing the proceedings on the radio, but also live streaming that on YouTube because there is obviously a visual component to that. And then, as Stephanie mentioned earlier, she'll come on after that. And, hats off to Stephanie for making a point of including the local music scene in this evening. And then we've got all sorts of dance party activities planned after that on the radio or on the internet, streaming live from KHOIFM.org. And so it should be a lot of fun, and hoping everyone could join us. Yeah.
Mike, I want to say from 6:30 to 7:30, John Bassert, who is the producer of a show that's been on KHOI since the very beginning, and his show is called Hot Jazz Review. Mm-hmm. And it's somewhat of an academic exercise, but John gets very deep into the jitterbug, the jazz, the very early music around the turn of the century. And he and I are sharing an hour of music, and I'm going to go over to my playlist. I'm playing from a 3 8-track set that was released in the early 1970s. And here's a few of the songs I'm going to be playing. The way we're working it, John's going to play a jitterbug song, then I'm going to play a Motown hit, then it's going to go back to John. And we're going to start with Rare Earth and I Just Want to Celebrate. I heard it through the grapevine, Marvin Gaye, Please Mr. Postman, Someday We'll Be Together, Diana Ross and the Supremes, The Tracks of My Tears, Smokey Robertson, Never Can Say Goodbye, the Jackson 5, Love Is Like a Heat Wave. This is Martha Reeves and the Vandells. So this is music that you can generally only find on a 40-year-old 8-track.
What makes an 8-track an 8-track?
8-track is it's a technology. It's one of the earliest tape technology. It's the first technology that allowed you to take your music from your home and play it in your car. There's a plastic box about the size of a small paperback book. And there's one right there on the screen. And turn it on its side so we can see it endwise. Right.
Wow, that's bigger than a VCR.
And it's
I remember. I remember my father used to have an 8-track machine, and they were like big square cassette that you put on the player.
That's what she's showing you. That's the 8-track.
Yeah, yep, I know. I remember that.
So it's called 8-track because there are actually 4 recordings, 4 sections on this 1/4-inch tape.
Yeah.
And the tape is endless. The end of the tape is glued to the beginning of the tape with a metal strip. And as that strip passes through the player, you can just see where Stephanie's finger shows her. There's a metal strip that'll move, and that'll switch it from track 1 to track 2, track 3 to track 4. Each track has an identical number of minutes and seconds on it, and each track has a left and a right. So you've got 4 tracks, you've got 8, each has left and right. So it's called an 8-track. And some of them, each track might be 6 minutes long. Some of them have 15 minutes in each track. It just depends on how much tape the producer wants to cram into the box.
Okay, so it's not okay. So okay, I see why they call it the 8-track.
What's interesting is that what Bob's saying is that it's an 8-track, but what I'm looking, because these are 8 tracks that I have for Bob that I have not given to him yet, but each one has only 4 songs on it, so I didn't realize that. So like this one, no one can see this if they're listening to radio, but this Badfinger has 4 songs, and all of these Inagata the Beat, Baby, Iron Butterfly, 4 songs. Yeah, it's called an 8-track. So I think that's making more sense to me now. So I have like, at least we have all this new stuff we can hopefully have Bob play on the radio. But it makes sense because I always thought like, why is it say 4, it's 4 tracks, 4 songs, but why is it an 8-track? That makes sense.
Yeah, Sam.
Sam.
But if I'm not mistaken, the cassette came out after 8 tracks, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
after and then CDs, and then we moved on.
Yeah.
Yes, Sam.
I would like to share something that I'm really looking forward to in the coming year. And that includes us all getting vaccines for the COVID-19 and the new cases dropping to 0 and us being able to get together. Now, this might not happen until the summer or maybe the fall or maybe even not next year, but I'm hopeful that it will happen in 2021. I am part of a Renaissance quintet, 5 of us, all male. We sing a cappella, no instruments, and we've been doing this for more than 30 years. We actually got our start in 1975. And I really miss being to have the weekly rehearsals. So I'm really looking forward to being able to get back to that group and also being able to conduct the church choir. And I'm going to commit those guys right now. Those guys are called the Music Men, the 5 of us. And when we can get together and polish up a few pieces, we'll be glad to sing them live on KHOI radio, KHOIFM.org.
All right. We're looking forward to see you, Sam.
That's worth getting a vaccination right there, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about the vaccination in New York is going on, but in my case, I don't think I'm gonna get it anytime soon because I have diabetes and high blood pressure, and they say that those people are gonna be like the last one to get it. And I don't know why, but I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait.
Or allergies. And I think you're probably immunocompromised. So you may have a worse reaction from what they're saying. And then obviously if you have allergies, that seems to be causing issues, not with everybody, but with some people. So I guess we'll just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, it makes sense that they would give people with issues, give that to them with the ones with issues at the end. Because by that time, the hospitals will be more under control. They'll be able to handle any complications that that can possibly be caused from the fact that they have pre-existing conditions.
Yeah, and I think it depends on the existing conditions too, because like I have a congenital heart defect, so my blood doesn't work the right way as most people's do. The blood goes through my heart, so I only get like half of the oxygen. So someone like me, if I were to get COVID, it would I would probably be the first person on a respirator. So they're not going to want to give me the vaccine until they know what it does.
Yeah.
But my other question is, I want to know because they just gave this vaccine out starting last week, I believe, or a little bit before. Then they have to give the second part, what we were talking about last week. The second, you have to have you take your first vaccine and then you have your second shot. So what happens then? Because no one's really knows what's going to happen with that. No one really knows. I mean, it's like, we're just like doling out these vaccines and then we have to give them a second vaccination.
Mike wants to say something.
I'm sorry, Mike.
My
Well, that's-
my nephew,
Oh,
he's a nurse and he works in Houston, Texas, and he already got the first one. So they told him that he's gotta wait to get the second one.
for
Yeah.
2 to 3 weeks. I think you take the first vaccine and then you wait 3 weeks. You take your second vaccine.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Mike, say what you're saying.
I'm sorry.
Go, Mike.
what you need to do is listen to Science Bites tomorrow. Ursula had a Local Talk interview with Mark Allen Drury, who is a infectious disease specialist, and he goes in detail about the vaccine. And the vaccines, one is a 21-day between your two, and the other is 28-day. And you are not getting the virus, you're getting a molecule directed to the infective part of that virus.
Is
The
that
The other
it?
thing to know, the other thing to know is that you, like Stephanie is saying, we don't, that all people are going to react differently, but you are probably going to feel, you're going to feel it more with your second because your body is actually fighting it. And if you don't feel great, it's because your immune system is actually doing what it's supposed to do. So you just, do it, take it under the observation of your medical folks. And if you do have an allergic reaction, they have ways to treat that so that they're not going to let you just walk away
No.
unknowing. So
Yeah, that's what I understand, that you have to wait like 30 minutes before you leave the place.
right. That's
Mike, is it considered an attenuated virus?
no, it is not a virus. You
Or
are
it's not like an attenuated, like it doesn't,
but-
explain it to me in like persons that don't understand this stuff.
but Stephanie,
Stephanie, this is Ursula. I talked about this extensively with 2 doctors, and basically there is no virus injected into your body. This is a completely different type of vaccine that has ever existed before. In the past, they would put a part of a virus or a dead virus in your body so that your body would respond with an immune system and make antibodies. But this virus is this vaccine is completely different because all that gets injected into your body is the RNA, which, and RNA is basically, all that is an instruction sheet, so to speak, that the virus uses to build itself. Like what the virus does, it goes into your body and it takes it goes into your DNA and it takes the RNA, and the RNA is like the instruction sheet that tells the body how to make new cells. And then the virus takes that and uses it to make its own cells in your body. And so what the vaccine does, all it is it simulates the RNA. So no virus is going to your body, only an RNA, a capsule with RNA in it is put in your body. And the body is fooled by that, and it thinks that it's the virus, and it makes antibodies. But actually, no virus ever goes into your body. And it doesn't. And the RNA is not for a virus cell. The RNA is only for the part of the coronavirus cell that looks like the crown, the corona, the little knob that sticks out. The RNA is only for that part of the RNA, the coronavirus cell.
So
But that's enough for the body to think that the coronavirus is there, and it makes antibodies. So it's very unique vaccine because actually nothing goes into your body except this RNA. So I asked the doctor, what exactly is RNA? And it's a string of amino acids, essentially. Order RNA, and it's in a capsule which tries to preserve it long enough for it to go into your body and to be recognized. But it is so fragile that as soon as it's in your body, very, very soon dissolves and just disintegrates because it's very, very fragile. That's why it has to be so cold. And so within a very short period of time, nothing's left in your body from the vaccine. It's just in there long enough to provoke the body to make an immune response. So the feeling sick is not a response to the virus. It's a response, it's your immune system kicking in. That's the only unpleasant, reaction that we get.
So we can
So
find
this
out
is
a
what I
lot more.
learned.
Now, where do they get the RNA? So supposedly
It's very,
that-
very interesting. They've never had a vaccine like this before. And the reason why they were able to do it so quickly is because the Chinese very, very quickly figured out what the RNA was that was being used by the virus, because they had been, doing research on AIDS and SARS, which was a former form of coronavirus. And so they were very quickly able to figure out what the RNA code was that the coronavirus was using. And they gave that immediately to the World Health Organization, to the whole world. They gave it very, very quickly, so that apparently back in February, they already had this vaccine almost a year ago. It happened that fast because they knew the RNA code, right at the onset. It just took so long because they had to test it, and to make sure that it was safe.
So our listeners can find out a lot more about this subject tomorrow afternoon at 4:30 on Science Bites, because Ursula's interview will be aired at that time. Thank you, Ursula.
Yes, thank you, Ursula.
Thank you, Ursula.
Thank you, Ursula.
Okay, we're we're winding down to the end of the program. Anyone have any last comments? 30 seconds or less.
Tune in on New Year's Eve on your interwebs,
Yep.
khoifm.org.
Mine is just to listen to Ursula's show tomorrow because I'm actually interested in it. Mike, when is it tomorrow?
4:30 to 5.
On Science Bites. Yeah, and don't forget to come and register for that masquerade party,
Science
especially if you have a mask. If you have
That's
a
right.
mask that you want to show off, register, and you can pop in and out with a new mask. I mean, it doesn't have to be one. It could be more than one,
All
So,
right. Just don't forget to register and look forward to see my fabulous mask that I'm preparing for you guys. And
Wonderful. It'll be wonderful.
before I leave, I want to say Happy New Year to all of you.
Happy
You
New
guys
Year's,
are
everyone.
amazing. You guys are amazing. God bless you all. I hope everything. I hope the new year comes way much better than this one.
yes, we can't have another 2020.
No. We gotta. I just got a message this morning on Facebook from one of my friends saying, "Oh, 2020. Let's grab this year and send it back to sender."
Return to sender. That's all.
Anyone else? All right. Well, thank you, folks. And do stay tuned to keep it here to KHOI.
Thanks, everyone. Good to see you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Here's
Bye.
my $5 chapstick.
Oh, I want mine.
I will get you one.
All
That's what you
right.
get. Like one of these per month is a membership at KHOI.
Okay, no problem.
Really?
Thank you, guys.
Get out of
Hey,
here.
Thank you.
All
I'm going
right.
to kill